We're going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got some nice.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad. Make sure to like it, subscribe if you're out there on YouTube, and also rate the show 5 stars everywhere that you get your podcast. The Chicago Bears win. We are live right after the game, and man, doesn't this feel good. Man, it's such a great win. Bears win 25-24 over the Washington Commanders after just some absolute craziness that we'll be breaking down today. And just how are we feeling? I have the question. How do you feel after the game? A+, A, B, C. How's everybody feeling out there? Because right now, I'm riding the high, right? It's the super fun time of being a Bears fan, and this is a big statement win. I have statement win inside the title of this. I have that in the thumbnail. This was a huge game. This was a game that you needed to win to really kind of set the tone out of the bye week. What are you going to do? Are you going to win the game? Are you going to come out and look good? And quite frankly, there was a lot of good in this game. There were some bad, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and some things like that. But what I really liked was it felt like the run game, the run defense, 2 of which we all had just we were all very, very nervous about. And those were just clicking on all cylinders out there today. And that looked really good. We'll break it down a little bit more too, and dive deeper into the ins and outs. But man, I just thought that this game, the fact that you're able to go down, I was watching that at the time. It's just a couple of my brothers were watching the game and we're just pacing and we're going, don't let Moody kick it. You're going to let Moody kick it? And we're like, no. And my boss is actually he's a Niners fan. And so he actually told me one time, he's like, oh, because I told him that we got Moody, and he's like, oh no, you don't want Jake Moody to be kicking that field goal for you. and yeah, lo and behold, Moody kicking it in. Awesome stuff right there. So, but yeah, my boss is mentioning like, oh yeah, Jake Moody, you can't trust him. But hey, he came through today, and that's what we needed him that's what we needed him right there. So let's actually break this down. Let's talk about it, because also, like I said, let me know how y'all are feeling right after this game. Because if we look at the stats, overall, from a stats perspective, total yards, Bears, 381 total yards, 329 for the Washington Commanders. Bears with an interception, and then two fumbles lost by the Commanders, and obviously that being the difference in the game. But the other thing, now I don't like to blame the refs. I really don't. Today was one of those where it felt like the refs were not good. I posted multiple times out on Twitter. I never post on Twitter, and even Instagram. Even on Instagram, it got me posting. It was one of those games. Like it just felt like any time that there was a good call, it was a penalty. Something went wrong where, yet again, it seemed like a lot of those were kind of phantom calls, like the amazing touchdown pass to Rome Odunze. And they said it during the broadcast, and even afterwards, you have people like looking at this on Twitter saying, yeah, that's not a penalty. But he threw it up, and I got to say, great pass by Caleb Williams, goes over to Rome Odunze. Rome makes an excellent adjustment to the football and makes a fantastic catch. So, man, that was great. That was an absolutely great play by the Chicago Bears. Love it, love it, love it. Now, the other thing, so they take that football away. Now, the other thing, too, that, because now we're going to start getting a little bit more critical. I do think that, yes, the Bears moved the ball well, but you're talking about 3 of 10 for third down efficiency. And also there was a lot of times, a lot of opportunities that you weren't able to punch it in. You weren't able to get some point, right? Yeah, you got some field goals. I would love to see some more touchdowns. So I think after you kind of get excited, right? Because I wanted to start out with the bang, us getting excited about the field goal, and then us then talking about the actual game itself. Now, when we look at this offense, let me just kind of flip it over to the offensive stats. When we look at the offensive stats, like we were talking about, Caleb Williams, 252 yards passing, 17 of 29. So let's start right there. I kind of wanted to start with the run, but let's start with the passing game first. So my overall take with Caleb is it's a lot of the same stuff that we're seeing. We're seeing some good, then we're seeing some bad, and still we're seeing a lot of inaccurate passes. And I think that's what's kind of killing this the most, where there's just flat out inaccurate passes, missing, the deep ball to Rome Odunze. It was a little bit short. There's also another route that Rome Odunze was wide open. It seemed like Caleb was really committed on running, which he usually his head's up. So that was a little like not very him to do something like that. But really, I felt like we saw a lot of Caleb. There was a string of him missing a lot of plays. Also, 3 sacks on the game, 2 of which he purposely stayed in bounds. So really, you're talking about maybe 1. I mean, yeah, they're still like in his face. We knew that this was going to be a good team with that, but I know that he intentionally was trying to take both of those sacks. So I just think that like with this passing game, you look at it, 4 catches for Luther Burden. I like to see him more involved. And I know like people have talked about, DJ Moore potentially not being a Bear. I think the tough part is you have a lot of very good weapons. And Zaccheaus normally is very reliable, but today wasn't a great day for him. And we all saw that drop that he had, that he could have, taken it, so many more yards, maybe even the distance. But 6 targets, only 2 catches on the day. Rome Odunze, 5 targets, only 2 catches on the day. So yeah, Rome's stat line, like they were able to spread the ball out, which is great. But yeah, it just, even though that we had 252 yards, it just felt like everything was spread out. But Caleb can still tune it up a little bit more and just look a little bit better. But I thought overall, that the blocking was solid. Yet again, this is upon first, initial watch with everything. Didn't seem to be any super glaring holes. There was a couple times that I noticed Jonah Jackson getting whooped a little bit, but yeah, so it just, Caleb just needs to fine tune those accuracies, the accuracy pieces. Give him the net again. Just have him working with the net, man. He just needs some of that. But I'll get into the comments next, but I just want to talk about the rushing game. My bold prediction was over 100 yards rushing, and I was so close to saying Swift, but I was like, 100 yards rushing on the day. That was true. That ended up coming true. Bears with over 140 yards on the ground, over 100 yards for DeAndre Swift, and man, he ran well. But also, too, I got to give credit where credit is due. Darnell Wright, we're watching the game, and I'm like, Darnell Wright might be my MVP. DeAndre Swift, obviously, phenomenal game, takes the screen pass. To me, it's, there's usually 2. We always say it's 2 people usually. And to me, we'll break it down at the very end. But it's I want to give a lot of credit to Darnell Wright, because when they were running it at the end of the game, you saw him not just block 1 person, but 2 people and 3 people. He sticks 1 hand out, pushes 1 away, goes up to the next level, blocks another person. Darnell Wright blocked phenomenally. He had an amazing game today. When they could just run it behind him and he went. Theo Benedette, he wasn't super noticeable as far as I could tell. Yet again, not watching it super with a giant fine tooth comb or anything like that. But I'm glad that we didn't. The only time that we noticed him was when it was that illegal formation, right? Which is questionable. So. But really, you saw that ball getting ran. Common Nunn guy averaged 3.8 yards a carry. I thought he ran the ball very, very well. And then you also saw DeAndre Swift, like we said, he was on a mission. He played great. And we also saw Roschon Johnson citing. Good to see him at least out there on offense. He is a change of pace, because he's just a massive human compared to them. Manun guy is difficult to bring down, but Roschon is just a battering ram, right? It's the difference between a battering ram and just a wrecking ball, right? So, with Roschon, he's just straight punch up the gut. Manun guy is just going to be hard to bring down. Swift is then your quick guy, but man, it was good. And also too, I thought that Ben Johnson called a phenomenal game, and you just kept seeing it. You kept seeing people just be open. People were open. People were getting the ball, and it makes you feel good, because you're no matter what, we still have Ben Johnson as our head coach. And just, I thought that he called a great game. I thought that everything out there was awesome. Now, with the 2-point conversion, I would have liked to see, I was like, all right, bring out one of your trick plays there. And I mean, Monangai was wide open, but like they said, there was a defender in his face, so maybe he didn't see that. But let's see what y'all are saying out there in the chat. I've been kind of going on I've been monologuing a little bit. Let's see. We got Jean-T's out here saying sloppy, but a dub in this one is an A+, no matter how we got it. Love it. Taco Man, bear down to you too. J2K, bear down to you. Screen game and run game improved. I definitely agree. Taco Man defense almost lost the game at the same time. Love it, love it, love it. We got Drax, what's good? And yes, F those refs. I totally agree with you right there. We got Marcus saying, right, but at least the Bears didn't beat the Bears. Agreed. I 100% agree there because I know, yeah, Taco Man saying Commanders beat the Commanders. And I think it's like a combination, right? I think that the Commanders at the end, they definitely beat themselves right there. But I do think that the Bears defense, and we'll talk about the defense a little bit more. I thought that the defense played very, very well. And then I just think that the offense, the big thing with the offense is that they just need to keep, it's just missing. It's missing a little bit, but like you can see it's there. And I think that's the thing. You can see it's there. It's like the incompletions, the little mishaps where it's the plays are there, the drops. And it's just like little things like that where just something doesn't happen. But that's what makes you just feel so promising that's what's so promising about this team. So, yeah, we got Jonathan. What's good? Bear down to you. Yeah, F the refs. 6 calls that were BS. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, smash that like button for sure. And let's see what else we got. Moody Swift. We got some MVBs out there. Yeah. And then let's see, Brad, if you watch the All-22, notice how the Commanders left tackle lines up behind the center. Yeah, I'll check that out. Thank you for the little tip. I'll definitely check that out. But let's see. But yeah, I agree with Taco Man. There should be 2 touchdowns for Rome out there. And that's the thing. It's like there's points on the board. Like it feels like we could have done a little bit more. But man, if we're talking about this offense and we're just kind of putting a bow on it, I thought that the offense played just phenomenally well. They played well. You just have to punch it in. You have to do that. So let's do that. And yeah, hit the hype button too. I love that, Marcus. Hit the hype button, hit the subscribe, everything out there. But yeah, man, it was a fun. It was a stressful game. I think that like I'll have a little bit more grays popping up now after that game. My brothers and I were like, man, the heart rate does not feel great. But let's talk about this. And also I agree with Joe too. Great win, but yeah, the concern. I'm curious when the Caleb accuracy does become a concern. Because yeah, last year he wasn't that accurate. This year he's the most inaccurate quarterback, and he continued to show that today. That's the big thing. And Drax needs a shot. Let's go. But yeah, now let's go through this defense, shall we? So the defense came in and they showed the graphic. The defense came in allowing the most yards per carry out of any team in since 1920s. Throughout the first 4 games, it was 6.2, 6.3 yards a carry. And hey, I'm not here to tell you that they're now all of a sudden the greatest run defense of all time. But if we go through here, let me just flip this up. They averaged 4 yards a carry. That's significantly better than what they had before, especially since this was a team that was one of the best running teams in the NFL. They were one of the most efficient, and you also have Jaden Daniels, who also bumps that up a little bit more. Jeremy McNichols, 2.5 yards a carry. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, like we said, was the most efficient runner that's out there. And the thing that I loved, this was one of my keys to the game. And we said this, if you watch the preview show, you know this. That Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is one of the most efficient runners for rush yards above expectation when he runs it to the outside. And what did the Bears do? They forced him inside. And I want to see the exact stats. It felt like they knew that. They're forcing him inside, and because they were forcing him inside, they were able to bring him down. He doesn't know what to do inside. He just goes crazy when he busts it out to the outside. So excellent stuff there, and only giving him 3.6 yards a carry. fantastic. Absolutely fantastic play by the Bears. Love to see it. So that's my feeling. That's what I really, really liked out there. But let's flip over to this defensive side of the football. You have Tremaine Edmonds, 13 tackles, TJ Edwards with 9, and then Kevin Byard with 6. You have Trevon Dexter with a sack and a half, and then you also have Dominique Robinson, who played a lot in this game with a half of a sack. Now, when I look at the pressure, I like that we are consistently scheming up blitzes. We know that this pass rush is not good, that it's non-existent. I love that we are scheming up different ways to just try and pressure them because, and I don't know about all of you guys, but I feel like collectively as a fan base, we were probably screaming at the TV when it was, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20, whatever it was, and they just threw it down the middle to McNichols, and he gets the first down, towards the end of the game. Because we're like, don't, just send the pressure. Keep running the same defense. Like, that was working, and they send 4, and they pull a Matt Eberflus, they go back, and they get those yards. But the thing that I loved was just, them dialing up the blitzes, them trying to put the pressure on them, and man, it was great. And one thing too, I don't have the exact stats. Normally, on the earlier games, I at least have the coverage stats and other things like that. Let me actually see if I can pull that up real quick to see if it's actually updated. But I felt like we never heard Tyreek Stevenson except for that one play. And literally, I'm watching the game with my brothers, and I called it because I was like, I feel like they're not going to throw his way and then just throw a deep ball his way to try to go big, try to do something huge like that. And they did. Because other than that, like, they were just going for Nahshon Wright. And that's something that I've said on this show is sign someone because you don't know when Jalen Johnson's going to be back. And Nahshon Wright is a huge hole on that other side. And you saw everybody come back, and all they were doing was just throwing it at Nahshon Wright. That's all they were doing. And so, if we had to do like a least valuable Bear, it would be Nahshon Wright. So that would be my take. But here, okay, I got my stats, so I'll be pulling this up right now. Let me try and grab this. All right, so initially on first glance, so this is first watch according to PFF. DeAndre Swift with a 46.9 PFF grade. Cool. And then let's see. Let me go to the next one. Joe Thuney, 75.5 on initial watch. Darnell Wright with a 74.8. Luther Burden, 74.4. TJ Edwards with an 88.7. It's good to have him back, right? That's for PFF grade upon first watch. Montez Sweat, 82.4. Kevin Byard, 79. Let's see what else we have. I want to look at the targets real quick. Don't want to see this. Let me find the targets. Sorry, live looking up some of these things. Here, I'll pull up some pass rushing. Dayo Dengbo, 11% pass rush win rate. Dominique Robinson, 21% pass rush win rate. Montez Sweat, 12%. And I want to say this about Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat, you're going against Josh Connerly. Like I thought he was going to win a little bit more. He still played a good game because he contributes a lot in the run game. But Trevon Dexter, 7.7% pass rush win rate. Pass rush win rate for Billings, 5.3. Then outside, and then let me see. Where is the pass coverage? That's what I want to see. Coverage. Kyler Gordon in coverage, 3 for 3 when targeted. Not great. Let's see. Tyreek Stevenson, 2 for 2 in coverage. But only 2 passes, one of them being that deep ball. Jaquan Brisker, 3 of 5 when targeted. That's pretty darn good. And then Nahshon Wright, 4 of 6. I thought that it felt like it was a lot more. But I just wanted to mainly see that one just to kind of see what that was. But man, that's what it just felt like. It just felt like he was getting picked on a lot more, but the stats say 4 times. Then the Caleb Williams, his adjusted completion percentage should be 69%. Nice. But instead 58.6 as his regular completion percentage. So some live stuff overall. And then also Caleb Williams, fastest time to throw, 2.81 seconds. That's a storyline right there, being able to get that out. I think the only other thing is like, and I agree with Joe too on this. I think that, yeah, Gordon didn't look as quick. I mean, he's coming back off of an injury. But yeah, like it's nice having him just so that you at least have one hole on the back seven. So I liked it. I really, really liked it. I thought that when you had those players out there, just it looks better. You just wish that you had a stud defensive lineman that could just, like, if you could just add one more stud defensive lineman, you'd feel so good about this defense. But man, I really, really liked how they played. And Jaquan Brisker with an interception, great ball hawking out there, just great plays. So let's continue on going and let's talk a little bit about the special teams, because man, we have to talk about the special teams review out here, and then we'll get into our MVBs later on. But like we said, Jake Moody, 4 of 5. He played well. That long kick was just easily blocked. Like the guy could have been standing there. But man, he hit it when it counted, and that's what matters. And then next, Tory Taylor. This was probably one of his best games. I mean, he only punted it twice, but one inside the 20. That was kind of that line drive. Excellent kick there. And then the other one I thought was solid. But it still comes down to our kick coverage just is absolute dog water. Just not good at all. That's something, averaging 31.8 yards to kick return, and it just felt like they could do whatever they want. And yet again, time and time again, the kick returns is just going on that like crazy. So yeah, let's see. But also, I just saw this comment. Thank you so much, Mr. Law, saying you are good. You should be on TV. Very good voice. Appreciate it, man. Made my day. Thank you. And yeah, Shadrax with the salute. I agree too. Thank you. Thank you. So let's go through this though, because we have the special teams. Like, yeah, special teams, man. We just got to get this better. Like, it's just frustrating with the kick returns for sure. And then the only other thing, because this reminds me of two, we only allowed one punt. What we always do is like now the defense. I've been singing their praises with the way that they've been stopping the run, that they've been looking a little bit better. But the one thing that I want to just really, really, really bring up with this is that time and time again, we are only getting the ball back if it's a turnover, and a turnover or we're letting them score, right? Only one punt. That's something that, like, you know, we need to at least stop them. We need something. We need to be stopping a little bit more. This was improvement from this defense, but we need to see more. I think that's the big key in all of this. But let's talk about our main thing, our most valuable Bear. So as I kind of close this out, I'm curious with all of you all, who is your most valuable Bear? Now, if I go out there, now I'm going to look at just your grades for the game. So A+ was 15% of y'all saying that, 30% of you saying A, 50% saying B, and 5% saying C. Let's talk about the most valuable Bear. I think I know who it's going out to, but if we go out to the defense, I thought that Jaquan Brisker had a great game. I thought that he played very well. And then as we were talking about with TJ Edwards going out there, making some good stops. He played well. And, you know, I want to give it to Stevenson, but Stevenson didn't have a great game. I mean, I feel like when we watch the tape, he'll probably, like, we'll see just how he was in coverage. But man, I wanted that strip. I wanted that interception. I wanted that big play. And you could see him, man. He was like fighting the ball, consistently trying to punch that ball out. Just unfortunately never did. But I think when you go to the offense, not Caleb. Yet again, a lot of inaccurate passes. Not a bad game, but still just like can improve. But yeah, I think none of the wide receivers. I think it just boils down to DeAndre Swift. And the only other person that, like I said, the only other person I want to throw up there is Darnell Wright. I felt Darnell Wright was blocking his butt off. I thought that he played crazy good. So to me, like, I want to give honorable mention. Like, I would love to just give it to Darnell, but I've been a notorious Swift hater, and you know, and I will give him his flowers when it's due. And he had a phenomenal game. And the thing that I really, really like about Swift is when he wants it, he wants it. And that, like, you saw it there where you could tell he's like, I want the ball. I want to run up the score. I want to do this. And I just wish that they would have given him it more. I think that was the thing, is I feel like a Lions fan from the Ben Johnson regime, where I'm like, man, I wish we were running the football more, because Caleb was like, through 5 incompletions in a row or like 6. And it's like the run game was just working like crazy. And that's something. So DeAndre Swift, I feel like we all knew. So that was the thing that I really, we just have to easily give it to DeAndre Swift. So, man, it was great. And I'm reading out there all the different stuff. We got Caleb would have had 300. Yeah, agreed. I totally agree with you, Mr. Law. Like, yeah, if Zacchaeus catches that ball, we could probably have a 300-yard game. And then, yeah, we got Swift. We got Stevenson. Washington did try to avoid him. I do agree. And then, yeah, lots and lots of Swifties out there for everything. But, man, I'm excited because I want to go back out onto Instagram and just see. I just want to see those post-game, all the post-game stuff. So I want to watch all those videos. I want to watch what happens, in the in the locker room, like with the speeches and everything. But man, the thing that makes this such a great game, and I'll just wrap it up like this, is that they needed to come back out of the bye and show what they can do over the Commanders. The loss that really set them down into a tailspin last season, to come back at Washington with crappy calls going against you and seemingly all the things going against you, and to come out with the win. Like Ben Johnson said when we won the Raiders game, we didn't win games like this. Or what was it? Kevin Byard. We didn't win games like this. To win another one like this, they're taking steps in the right direction. They're looking good. The Commanders are a good team. And to get that win, man, it feels absolutely great. So if you're watching out there on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. We'll be going live on Wednesday night to preview the next opponent. I haven't even checked to see who the Bears' next opponent even is, just because I'm so excited about this. But it's the Saints. So we're going against the Saints next. We're going to be breaking it down for you, and maybe the Bears can be going off of a 4-game win streak. So make sure to stay tuned. And with that, have an awesome rest of your night. And Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair and